Get on in here. I'm going to do question and answers outside because it is a nice morning and I want to look at my garden and might be attacked by a carpenter bee. I got plants to put in the ground and I just thought it'd be fun to be outside again. I did both shows outside yesterday. My shirt's crooked. Anyway, I did some shopping on eBay. Got me a new shirt. It's gauzy and makes me happy. Anyway, people are asking questions. I got lots of questions. Oh, it's going to be a fun day in the neighborhood. Yes, it is. But first, Justin and I have been conferring this morning on some special things in our fly shop. Yeah, pretty in pink. Yep, my favorite color. My first book, Sync Reflection, was hot pink, and every book since then has been hot pink except for the Body Clutter book, and it was black and white in the original. But we've got some deals for you. You know, June is the month where we practice drinking our water. Now, this is usually my tea bottle, but I knew I was going to have a lot of questions today. And I have my water in here today. Now, this water bottle is usually $21.95. But guess what? We've got it at $14.95 right now. We have it in this color and we have it in navy blue. So if you're needing a water bottle that keeps things hot and keeps things cold, now here's a warning. If you're going to drink things hot, do not drink out of the bottle. It will burn you. It will burn you because it keeps things hot. So pour it in a cup. Water bottles, $14.95. Okay, next thing. You remember our insulated cooler bag. Well, since everybody has been locked in their house, they haven't been selling well, and we've decided to discontinue them. Yes, we are going to discontinue the little denim cooler bag. Somebody put a link in here. It's $11.95. Yep, the $11.95. So those are going away. And then we have the great deal on our multi one. It's $8.47, and be sure and get an extra handle so you can have the length on it. Y'all, my hair, I'm looking at myself in my camera, and I've got a curl popping up back here. I've never had a curl in my hair at all, ever, in my whole life. But anyway, we have some great sales going on. We have our big mop. I don't have any of it out here, so I can't show you, but I'm working on an email to go out. We have our big mop that's half price. It's $25.95, and you're just going to love it. You're just going to love this mop. There's Miss Kaylee. Love my baby girls. Yeah, all my little nieces and nephews, and they're just precious to me. I say prayers for them every night. Now, I'm trying to think of all this. And our biggest sale, the Back to Basics package, is $49.95. It's the best deal in the whole fly shop. And then we have our ultimate, I call it the Big Purple Pack, which is $75 off. So you just can't go wrong. We have some great sales going on. And you know, we got 375 people plus a zero. It's more like 4,000 people in here. It's time to do our questions. I was just killing time. My silver hair is beautiful. Well, I don't like to think of it as being silver. My mother's hair was white, but here we go. I can't swallow pills. I was wondering If I can crush your supplements and mix them with applesauce, are they timed release? I do not believe that they are time released. There's Miss Alyssa. That's Kaylee's sister. I do not believe that they are time released. We should ask Leanne about it tomorrow and make sure that it's okay. But the main thing is you got to take them. And let me teach you how to swallow pills. I can teach you to do this because I used to gag on them like crazy. And you have to take a gulp of water. You have to put the pills in your mouth. And I can take a handful of pills at one time. Leanne can too. But you put them in and you drink. You need to drink from a glass so that you can take a big drink of water. Big drink of water. And then you can practice it. Just gulp it down. And when you take that big drink, the pills and everything go right down with it. And you don't want to have your head like this. You want to have your head up so that it's a straight flow. But you can practice it. You can practice learning to take pills. There's probably a YouTube video on how to do it. There's doing funny stuff. Next question. I do not believe they're time released. Do not believe they're time released. We are starting a Christian school at church where my husband pastors. The children will be responsible for cleaning the bathroom, sweeping, wiping desk, and different tasks like that daily. My question is, what tools do you suggest we use, and how many tools would, let's see, I would like a separate toilet bowl brush for each bathroom. Do you have any fun suggestions on how we can handle this? You're just good at this stuff, and I really want to input. I really want any input you may have. Well, think of a church school as being at church camp. And everybody has responsibilities, and you rotate them around so everybody learns how to do things. So think about the kids, I don't like to call them chore charts, but they're blessing charts. They're just blessing charts, and you rotate it around. So if you've got the front entrance of the church, that all has to be swept. So I would probably get the Back to Basics package for the front of the church, for the back of the church, so that you don't have to run around looking for tools and have a place for them. That way you would get there's my dog. She's getting in the pond and in the big pond. Get 2 Back to Basic package. That's $100. And you would have 2 swish and swipe packs and enough purple rags to clean an army. And then you'd have exactly what you needed. Which tools would I would add a carpet sweeper to that. The carpet sweeper, if you have any carpet in the church, you're going to need a carpet sweeper. And they're going to fight over that. And I would add a feather duster to it. Yep. I would add a feather duster and a multi-wand, because the multi-wand is good at getting up high spaces. And sometimes church ceilings are high. But don't do any climbing. Don't do any climbing. But I would set up a weekly round robin of who gets to do what. Or you put them in a bowl and you play a game. And everybody run and do it. Everybody draws out of the bowl and picks their blessing for the day. And if you do something every day, church classrooms are never going to be dirty. Let's see. If you work 3 12-hour shifts a week, should you try to do daily missions, zone work, or just do the missions on the days you're off? Now, see, you're making excuses. You're making excuses. And if you work 3 12-hour shifts, before you go to work, do one of your missions. They're 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It's all it takes to do the mission. There's Miss Darlene. 5 minutes. So get in the habit of doing it before you go to work. And then you won't get out of the habit. You'll always be in the habit of doing it. Yeah, I got a muddy dog. Just a muddy dog. Wait until you get off. What's going to happen? Your house is going to fall apart while you're at... Don't mess with my water bottle. You're muddy. You're muddy. I'm being attacked by a wet dog. Okay, next question. Do you have a laundry and dishes routine when you don't have a dishwasher or a laundry room? Well, I can help you with that. I've been going to the laundromat every 2 weeks. I've had to do that myself in the past. And you wear every piece of clothing that you've got until you have no more, and then you have to go. I know. Okay, so you don't have a dishwasher. But if you have a dishpan, you have a dishwasher. So I would clean out from under my sink. Clean out from under my sink. You're wet. Clean out from under the sink and put... She was making a funny gulping noise. I was worried she'd choking on something. Put your dishpan underneath your clean kitchen sink. And that becomes your dirty dish disposal unit. Got it? Your dirty dish disposal unit. Hey, Leanne. Somebody asked a question. I want her to write this out in the comments. She says, I can't swallow pills. I was wondering if you can crush your supplements and mix with applesauce. Are they timed release? So Leanne will answer that question in the comments. I hope I can see it. So put a dishpan under your sink, and as part of your morning routine, wash the dishes that are in the dishpan. Yep, wash the dishes in the dishpan. As part of your noontime routine, wash the dishes in the dishpan. Got it? Wash the dishes in the dishpan. And that way you can deal with not having a dishwasher. And for laundry, sort as you take your clothes off. Now, my granny used to wash her undies. She wouldn't run her undies through the wash machine. She would hand wash her undies. And this is how you keep from having 1,000 pairs of panties when you have to go to the laundromat. So sort your laundry as you take it off. So if you have delicates like your underwear and things, then you can hand wash a lot of things. I have washed clothes. When I didn't have any money, I have put my clothes in the bathtub, and used a broom. I didn't have a rubber sweeper at the time, but you could use a broom or a brand new toilet bowl brush. How do you keep ticks off? Y'all get me sidetracked. Tulip wears a collar. So you can hand wash what you can. It doesn't take much to hand wash clothes. You just have to wash them. And my mother-in-law never had a dryer. Neither one of my mother-in-laws ever had a dryer. Ella had a clothesline in her basement. She would hang things up in her basement. My mother, Justin's grandmother, Elizabeth, she didn't have a dryer. She would hang things. She had a wonderful clothesline. I mean, I'm envious of anybody with a clothesline right now. I would love to have a clothesline to hang things up. But I would go to her house and do my laundry once a week because we didn't have a washer and dryer either when Justin was a baby. And we used cloth diapers. So I would have to have enough diapers for a week, and then I would go to her house, and then we would only use disposable diapers when we were away from the house. You can do laundry. You can do laundry. I mean, thank God we don't have to use a washboard anymore. But, things don't get that dirty. Things don't get that dirty unless you're digging in the garden like I'm getting ready to do, and it's going to start raining any time. But sort your laundry as you take it off, and then that way, and once you get caught up with your laundry, you can stay on top of it, and you could save a whole lot of money, because mainly you just got to get it wet and get the dirt out of it, and then hang it up and let it dry. But sort it as you take it off, and then that way you can go to the laundry with it all ready to go. You know how much money you got to have, because you've got 5 bags of laundry. You've got towels, and I would hang my towels up and let them dry after you use them. Then that way you only have a towel for each person in the house. And then you'd have whites and darks, and you'd have colored clothes. That's 3 loads there. And then towels and sheets. The hardest thing to wash would be sheets. That would be the hardest thing to wash, would be sheets. Okay. Detailed cleaning list. If you already have a cluttered room, how long do you spend on it? Well, see, detailed cleaning lists are made for the areas of your home that's already decluttered. I mean, you can't detail clean a dining room table if it's covered in stuff. You could probably clean the legs and stuff, but detail cleanings are things that you don't do very often. But we get stuff done. I don't know who's complaining about hard on knees and spine. But folks, I got a comment to tell you. Yeah, I got a comment. I'll say it at the end, so stick around. And y'all remind me about knees. Remind me about knees when we get to the end of our questions, because I have a comment. How long do you spend on it? Well, if you have a room if you already have a decluttered room, the detailed cleaning list, that's our missions that go out each day, folks. They take 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes. You don't have to do the whole list in that room. You don't have to do the whole list. Now, here's what you do. You do the mission that Rebecca, that I put in the flight plan that goes out every single day. We do 5 each week. This week we're in zone 1. That's our front porch, our entrance of our house, and our dining room. Next week we're going to be in zone 2, and we'll be doing the sprint too, so go get signed up for the sprint. Yep, your car is covered in yellow dust, so is mine. It's called pine pollen, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So it's 5 minutes a day, and you never have to spring clean again. There's my book, Sink Reflections, has a whole chapter named You Never Have to Spring Clean Again. So just 5 minutes for 5 days a week for a month, you're going to do 20 times 5. That's 100 minutes of spring cleaning that you get around to every 3 months. You're going to get back around to that, and you're going to be fine. You're just going to be fine. Curious about Camp Gonna Wanna Fly. How does it work? Well, Camp Gonna Wanna, I'll never forget when I named it Camp Gonna Wanna Fly. I went to 4-H camp. I went to 4-H camp 1 week. Next week I went to Girl Scout camp for 2 weeks. And then after that I went to a week of church camp. I was in camp all one summer. I mean, all summer long. And it was absolutely a turning point in my life, going to camp. Now with camp, we all had duties. just like at setting up a church school. Everybody's got duties. Setting up a homeschool, everybody's got duties. And at camp, we called them caper duties when we were in the cafeteria. Everybody has something to do. So I want you to set your kids, maybe get around the fire pit or go outside and have a picnic and everybody sit and talk. I mean, we used to do things we would pass the stick and whoever had the stick could talk. It's things we learned in camp. And you take the idea of camp and you turn it into an immersion class, like you want to learn Spanish or you want to learn to do something. Look at the stars, all kinds of things. I don't know what people are saying. Anyway, but Camp Gonna Wanna Fly, we have a Camp Gonna Wanna Fly control journal on our website, in the control journal section of our website. And you sit down with your kids and you decide what you want to do. Maybe you want to take decluttering to a new level. Well, you want to know how to get kids involved in decluttering? You have a yard sale. Yep. Now, right now might not be a good time to have a yard sale, but come August, it might be okay. We've still got virus everywhere. It's not gone away, so we've got to be safe. And you don't want your kids being exposed, you know? When somebody's saying they wash and dry their purple rags, I like to use my purple rags washing dishes till I get all the purple out of them. So Camp Gonna Wanna Fly, you come up with a topic, you come up with a name for your camp, you know? Camp Gucci Gimo, you know, come up with a name. Maybe the kids want to have a Star Wars camp or some kind of themed camp. You could have fun. You could fix food. You could have songs around the fire pit at night. You could turn it into a whole summer of fun for the kids. And they can learn some stuff too. Maybe you learn how to tie knots. You learn how to, maybe you're going to train your dog. There's just lots of different things you could do. But you're just turning your home into each kid's room has a cabin name, and you get to judge the cabins they have to meet their standards. It's fun, and it's free. You just have to do get the kids involved. They'll clean up my house. I can't clean up. You don't want to be that obvious thing. You got to be careful with it. But you can play games. You can have scavenger hunts. You can pick up and put away and do lots of fun things. But you just have to go download the control journal, print it out, read it, set up the camp, get the kids involved, and take time with your family this summer. But it's free. Camp Gonna Wanna Fly is free. But you have to be the camp director. The kids get to be the campers. Older kids can be counselors. And it can be fun for everybody. How would you calm down so you can get to bed before 1 a.m. or earlier? Well, you got to start your before bed routine right after dinner, folks. It has to start right after dinner. Last night we went to Leanne and Mark's for dinner, and we didn't get home till 10:30, so I had to work till 1 o'clock to get my stuff done because it was a busy day in the neighborhood yesterday, and I didn't get to get ahead like I try to do on Wednesdays because we have a basic weekly plan. If it's a holiday, we'll go on a Monday. If it's regular week, we'll go on a Wednesday. And Leanne says, you do not get an invitation from me. This is our standard operating procedure. We're going to have dinner on Wednesday night. Got it? I said, yes, ma'am. So how do you calm down so you can get to bed before 1 a.m.? Well, you got to turn the TV off. You got to turn the TV off. And you got to quit looking at the news media. You got to quit looking at Facebook. You need to turn it off. And that's going to turn your brain from reacting. It's going to keep your brain from being in ping pong mode. Got it? Trust me on this. You got to turn stuff off. Yep. Maybe you put on some calming music. If you don't have any AirPods to help, these things are amazing. I can listen to things, and Robert doesn't know. I'm not on a string. I can walk around the house. I can go down in the basement. Here comes the dog with the toy. She's got a giraffe. I think it's one she stole from the neighbor's house. So getting in bed earlier is hard. It's hard for me. But you set up an alarm, and that's when you start your before bed routine. At home, I'm going to take a bath about 7:30 or 7 o'clock if I'm home, and I'm going to relax. And it's just a process. Lavender and Epsom salt are my favorite things. In fact, I'm getting low on Epsom salt. I've got to order some. She's in a hole. She's digging again. She's a crazed dog. Yep. So start your before bed routine as soon as dinner is over. Soon as dinner is over. And that way it's only going to take like 2 minutes to brush your teeth and get in the bed, you know? Doesn't take long. Why did you decide to write a book, and which one? Why did you decide to write and book, and which one should I read first? Well, there's a typo in this, so why did you decide to write a book, and which one should I read first? I'll fix it on the fly. I have to figure it out. My sister kept bugging me. Patty kept saying, you need to write a book. And I kept saying, it's all on the website. I don't need to write a book. And she said, you need to write a book. And I said, no, I give it away for free. Why would I want to write a book? So finally, in July of 2000, it's 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I handed off what I was doing to other people, and in 2 weeks' time, I gathered up essays I had written, and I compiled them into a book. It took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And it happened. Now, Body Clutter took 2 years. Sync Reflections took 2 weeks. Now, writing a book is easy. I just write it in little segments. If you're going to pick a book to read first, I would read, it's according to your age. If you have a short attention span, read the Chaos Cure book, my latest book from Seal Press. It's a quick read. It's fun. It's just little tidbits. It's written for millennials, but we all get something out of it. Just like our kid music was written for children, but we all love it, and y'all play with it every time we're on a show and I'm in the studio. Sync Reflections has changed a lot of people's lives. So you could read Sync Reflections, and it's 200 and something pages, and it's a good book to start with. Brenda got her big mop yesterday. I got a question about the big mop coming up. So why did I decide to write it? Well, my sister kept nagging me, so I had to write it to hush her up. But it was a good thing. That book is 20 years old, and it's just started to reap royalties because we passed our advance on royalties last year. So they're starting to send me royalties on the book, and y'all keep it a big bestseller. My sister's laughing. Next question. Is your mop heavy? I am used to using a Swiffer mop. Well, you're not mopping if you've got a Swiffer. That's all I got to say. That's just pushing things around. I know it grabs it, but a wet mop is a wet mop. You can't Swiffer wet mop, I don't think. If you do, it's like having a sanitary pad on the bottom of your mop. Our mop's not heavy. And it's big. And it's light. And kids love it. And the handles goes down to kid size. Anybody that is so easy to use. Our big purple mop is amazing, and it's $25.95 with an extra mop cloth. And we'll soon be getting in some of our chenille cloths that'll fit it. You'll love that because it makes a great dust mop, makes a great wet mop too. So it's not heavy. It is not heavy. And especially if you got water on it, it just slides across the floor. It's just easy peasy. I got a video of me doing it. Next question. Do you ship to France? We ship all over the world. All over the world. All you got to do is get in the fly shop and place an order, and Kathy will take care of you, or the cart will take care of you. How many vitamins are in a bottle? If it calls for 2 a day, there's 60. If it calls for 1 a day, there's 30. Isn't that right, Leanne? She's on here. She'll tell. So get your vitamins. It's going to keep us healthy. More people are trying to stay healthy so they don't get this virus. Because if your immune system is down in your socks, if your immune system is down in your socks, you're going to be sicker more. You've got to have the right vitamins and essential minerals in your body. You got to do it to stay healthy. I'm new. Will you explain decluttering and when to do zone work? We do zone work. See, zone work is just to keep us from being all over the house. Being all over the house. And when you're all over the house, you're just ping-ponging all over your house. We want you focused on what zone we're in. And it doesn't matter if you have a house that's 5,000 square feet or 800 square feet. We all have a kitchen. We all have a front door. We all have bedrooms and bathrooms and living rooms. So that's our 5 zones. Teresa got her back porch clean, or porch clean. So having the house broken down into zones is good for you, because you know that all these other women are doing the same time. We had one lady, we got a testimony on one. No, this was from a guy who said, I knew, and his name was Aaron, and he was a producer in LA, and he told me. He said, I lived in a little town in Arizona, and I could drive down the street on the first day of the month, and everybody be sweeping their front porches, and I couldn't figure it out. And I asked my mom what's going on. Why is everybody sweeping their porch on the first day of the month? And she says, because flylady tells us to. And he reached out to me. We did some negotiations and doing some kind of show, but it never worked out. But anyway, we get to get people on the same page, cleaning their front porch, cleaning their, doing everything with other people. It's like we got this house cleaning club, except we're not cleaning, we're blessing our homes. So decluttering. Clutter is standing in our way, folks. It is standing in the way of us having a summer barbecue. It's standing in our way of having people in our homes, even though we're being careful right now. Clutter is standing in our way. If we will deal with the clutter on our flat surfaces, your home's going to look beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You got it? When we can do this together, declutter and get all our flat surfaces cleared off, and you may have to put something pretty there. Like when you go to the grocery store, get a bundle of flowers to put in a vase and sit on your credenza behind your couch, or put something on your dining room table, or go out in your garden and pick some flowers. Hydrangeas are getting ready to bloom. I've got several hydrangeas on my bush. It's popping out. They're all green right now, but it won't be long they'll be blue. Wow, that's bright. So getting rid of your clutter is going to make your home be absolutely amazing. I can't even see myself anymore. So I can't see any, maybe I can see some comments. Why does each month have a specific focus like moving in May? Oh, that's a good question. Well, what happens is we try to do everything at once. And you know what happens when we try to do everything at once? It's called crash and burn. If we can practice a habit each month and build upon the habit we did last month and string those habits into simplified routines, your house is going to be on autopilot. So every month, January is shining our sink, or when you first join, you got to shine your sink for that month. February is decluttering 15 minutes each day, and we continue that until we get rid of our clutter. And then we keep doing that because clutter keeps coming back. March was getting dressed to lace up shoes. April, making your bed. Just that one simple act of making your bed is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Because you walk in your bedroom and you can't believe your bed's made. May, it's moving for 15 minutes. Walk for 7 minutes, turn around and come back. June is drinking our water. Most of our habits are all about taking care of you. Drinking our water. July is swish and swipe. So get your back to basics package, get your swish and swipe set, and you'll be ready to practice swishing and swiping. It's part of my morning routine. I do it every day. My toilet is never dirty, y'all. Never dirty. Somebody's asking how to fertilize hydrangeas. I think it's Epsom salt. It'll help change the color, change the pH in it, something. But I use Miracle Grow. I got off the subject. That July, August is a load of laundry each day, getting ready for school to start. September is our before bed routine, practicing our before bed routine. October is getting rid of our paper clutter. Now, if you're decluttering a little every day, that paper clutter is going to go along with it. And there's nothing better than having a fire pit in your backyard. So that I've seen some fire pits in the front yard that you can sit around a fire with your family. There's nothing that brings a family together like s'mores and roasting hot dogs and having a good time. And a fire pit can bring a family together like you wouldn't believe. So when we have these habits that we practice each month, now the sun went behind the cloud, that's as good, I can see again. This gives us an opportunity to practice that habit for 30 days, however many days are in a month. And that keeps us from being, from beating ourselves up when we miss a day. So we give ourselves a 10-day grace period each month. Psychologists tell us it takes 21 days to establish a habit. Well, they don't know flybabies. Because with our perfectionism, if we miss a day, we just said, oh, I can't do this, and just throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, we're not doing that anymore. We are loving ourselves. We are letting go of the perfectionism that has been ingrained in us since we were a child. You know, your parents told you. They said, if you can't do anything, if you can't do it right, don't do anything. And we didn't. We can change that around. We can do 5 minutes. We can do 2 minutes. We do 2-minute weekly home blessings every week, and y'all love it. And you can't believe how great your house looks. You're not going to believe it. What are those cute pink cloths used for? Well, guess what? We did inventory yesterday, folks. And guess what they found? They found more pink rags. Yes, they did. We put them back at $10 for a pack of 12. The pink rags are back in stock. We had put them up to their regular price, $19.95, but they're back at $10. I forgot to tell you about that. So in our sales, the pink cloths were made because of a fly baby. She took our purple rags, she cut them into 4 pieces, salvaged around the edges of them, and used them to put in her purse because they were small, to put in her bathroom. I keep a basket of pink rags in my bathroom to take my makeup off. It's amazing. It takes mascara off. Liz has, I don't wear mascara because my eyes would swell shut, but Liz has done videos on how to use pink. She hasn't done pink rags, I don't think, but I've done the pink rags. I've done a video on pink rags taking my makeup off. And it blows you away how they grab the makeup off your face with just plain water. So I've been using the pink rags in Ziploc bags. I know y'all have seen that video a million times that I made. I pour alcohol in them. When you couldn't find hand sanitizer, I found 2 bottles of alcohol at my house, and I poured alcohol in them, and I take them with me, like to the dentist. I actually hold them as security blankets when the dentist is rummaging around in my mouth. So the little pink rags are used to clean your glasses. They're clean baby faces. They're just wonderful. They're handy to have around. I mean, you could put them into one of those baby wipe containers with some water, and you would be ready to clean a baby's face at a moment's notice, just like that. But I keep them rolled up in my little basket in the bathroom. And Leanne uses one to take her makeup off, and then she rinses it out, and the next morning she lays it out to dry, and the next morning she uses it for her swish and swipe. When is a child old enough to have their own routines? 1 year old. You start talking about routines, you start playing the routine music. You just got to start training them. You don't all of a sudden say, it's time for you to have routines. You do it with them every day. Children thrive on routines. They thrive on knowing what they're going to do next. When you keep a child guessing, you make them anxious. So having a time for everything, like we have 3 o'clock tea time. Maybe you have 1 o'clock nap time and read a book and put them down for a nap. Children thrive on routines. So start it as early as possible. You know, when they're infants, they have a feeding routine. Just start doing it. Be a part of it. Get up and get dressed, and get everybody dressed to lace up shoes. When do we clean closets? Well, we're not like that Marie lady where we want you to pull everything out of your closet. We don't do that. We do not do that. It makes me anxious. We go in and we pluck things out of that closet that don't fit you anymore. And we mainly work on our big closet when we're in zone 4, our master bedroom. But you can go in anytime. Maybe you want to set up a system of getting your closet cleaned out. Every day at 1 o'clock, you go in and you pull 5 things out of your closet to give away. Imagine that. After a week, you would have 25 things out of your closet. 25 things? You would have a lot of room in your closet in just 1 week. But decluttering a little every day, and we don't kill ourselves. I've known people who have done the method of Miss Marie and pulled everything out of their closet and stood there and looked at this beautiful empty closet. You bought the house because it had a big closet, but you've stuffed it full of stuff with your stashes and dashes. I know you. And it's gotten so cluttered that you can't function. You can't even find anything in there, so you started hanging your clothes in the hall closet where the coats go because you can't find anything in your closet. Doing 5 minutes a day of decluttering, 5 minutes in the morning. That Marie lady, yeah. I don't want to talk bad about her, but her methods don't work for my fly babies because y'all pull it all out and you're not going to put it back for months. So we've got to be precisely plucking clutter out of our closets. Wow, that's bright. Why did you decide to sell tea, and who is Leanne? Well, Leanne is my friend. Leanne has been my friend for 20 years. She used to be a homeschooling mom. Her kids are grown now. They grew up with flylady. And she lived about an hour and 20 minutes from me. And one day I got this email from her and she says, I write for my local newspaper. I've pitched an idea. And if you live within 500 miles of me, I'd like to come and give you a hug. And she did. She did. And she did a story about me, and I asked her if she wanted to write for us some, and she did that. And we wrote Sync Reflections together, and we're working on a new book together. No, we wrote Body Clutter together. It took us 2 years, but we got it done. I have been with her through, oh God, I can't even count the number of moves she's had. I've helped her move. I've been through divorces with her. In fact, she and I know so much about each other that Mark and Robert can't even come close to us in game time when we're playing games. Because we only have to say one word, and we were doing it last night. So it was just funny. We were beating the guys. We beat them. Yeah, we beat them. Leanne's an expert. We have moved vicariously from one coast to the other with her. Her last move was a year ago. She moved here. She finally moved here. And she's just up that mountain. Takes me 15 minutes to get to her house. If I was a drone, I could be at her house in 30 seconds. Anyway, so why did we decide to sell tea? Last summer, I read a book. I saw a TED Talk first by Dr. William Lee. And he talked about the benefits of tea. And tea is good for cutting off the circulation to fat. We grow capillaries to feed our fat. Did y'all know that? We do that. So I learned this from Dr. Lee, and I thought, well, I need to drink more tea. And he talked about the combination of teas and how important those combinations were that they multiplied on each other. It's like if you got 2 different kinds of tea, you get the benefits, but they work together in tandem. And so we came up, I was playing with tea. I was putting 3 different kinds of bags in my teapot and drinking that tea. And it was a little bit too much caffeine because I'm going to drink my caffeine. And what I did was, Leanne found a tea person in India. And we are getting this tea from India. And this tea is black tea, green tea, and Earl Grey. 3 different types of tea. And these teas, they just are wonderful. And we've gotten testimonials about how people's blood pressure has gone down drinking the tea. I don't think our tea is making their blood pressure go down. But what it's doing, you're stopping to drink tea. Because I figured if I had tea time in the afternoon, then I would drink my tea. And you know I have. And I can really feel a difference. It's just absolute. I mean, we had to argue with the tea guy. We were driving to get my hair cut. And this tea guy calls up and he said, you know, our tea sommelier does not think that this is going to be a good blend. Because we wanted 1 part of each tea in 1 bag. 1 little bag, not 3 huge bags. And and we talked him into making it, and we loved it. We absolutely love the tea. Y'all love the tea. And it's our custom. Nobody has a tea like this. Nobody. And it's because y'all needed to take a break in the afternoon, and we needed to take somebody's complaining about the bergamot. All you got to do is leave the bag open, and that will evaporate. Try it. Leave the bag open. It will settle down. It's the best blend you've ever had. Yeah. And it has medicinal purposes. So we didn't want to get any teas from China. So we stayed away from the oolongs and that sort of thing. So we stayed away from that. But we're drinking 3 different kinds of teas in 1 little bag. And yeah, I put 3 bags in my teapot. I got a gnat in my eye. So last summer we started doing tea time, and we didn't think about doing tea until November or so, and then it was Christmas time, and we finally got the tea in, and it is amazing. And we ran out. Does Justin work for flylady and company, and is he married? Okay, folks. Justin is my son. Yep, he's my son. He's my very first hire with flylady. He used to be in my garage right down there, and he had a card table set up, and he was shipping books to Amazon, because when Sync Reflection was printed, we self-published Sync Reflections. We got 10,000 books. You know, we sold out of those 10,000 books in no time. And then we ordered another 20,000. We sold 50,000 books. We only had like 10,000 people. People were buying books for everybody. And that's when we started getting emails from people, from publishers and agents wanting to represent the book, because we were in the top 50 on Amazon. This is when Amazon was a baby. And it was a book distribution system, and we sold books on Amazon. We didn't even have a website to sell them on. We were selling them on Amazon. So yes, Justin is married to Emily, and Emily is 5'2", precious, precious, precious. She's strong-willed, and I love her. And she is the most amazing mother in the whole wide world. And when they got married in December of, it was a couple of years after Robert and I got married, like 98. They just had a big anniversary. When they got married, I looked at her and I said, "You are the perfect woman for my son, because you can hold your own with him, and you're going to give me beautiful grandchildren." And she has done that. Ethan and Sarah are absolutely amazing. And They're 17 and 14, and they're going to be great young adults. Ethan already is. Just they have their own opinions about things. She's been their teacher. She's homeschooled them. She's amazing. So, yes, Justin is married and he works at the fly shop. Jack and Kathy and Rebecca are one big team at the office, and Justin, they all keep things going. Is Robert going to write a new book? He just doesn't have it in him right now. When it comes time, the good Lord will tell him and he'll do it. How do I keep the blinds in my house clean? You have to have a routine for cleaning them. Now, think about this. If you had the multi-wand and you turned all the blinds down, all of them down, you take this one wand and wipe it all the way down. Or you take your feather duster and just feather dust your blinds. You could do it every day. It wouldn't take 2 minutes to do it all. And then flip them the other way and do the other side. You'd have clean blinds. They would never be so grungy that you have to throw them away and get new. You say not to declutter my husband's stuff, but it's all over the house. Is it okay if I present him with some tubs with labels on it and a place to store it in the garage? I have followed your advice and removed all my clutter a couple of years ago. Well, you know, you've got to have his stuff where he can get to it, because you could do that, but he's going to rebel against you. You need to give him areas, like in our bedroom closet. Robert has a bookcase, a small little bookcase, and that bookcase, he has stuff on it. He has a table by his chair that he puts his stuff on it. We have a table between our two chairs, and his stuff is on one half and my stuff is on the other half. And I don't declutter his stuff. I tried that one time. It didn't go over well. I tried to declutter his cookie cookbook, and luckily I had taken the box to the truck, and I hadn't taken it off yet. And I was able to save that cookbook. So don't declutter your husband's stuff, and give him a place to put things. Robert has his office in the basement. He has almost all the basement except some shelves he built me at the end of the basement on the wall. And, you know, I don't bother his stuff. How often should we wash our windows from the outside of the house? Sometimes God gives you a storm and blows a lot of water on your windows, and you can just get out there with your Fly Lady big mop and just do your windows right quick, so as you don't have to climb. You just don't have to climb. I try to do it with seasons. Right now, we got a lot of pollen blowing, and I'm going to wait for pollen season to be over. So probably about the end of June, I'll wash all the windows outside, and we'll have a blowing storm, and I'll get out here and do it. The do it now principle kicks in. Well, folks, look at us. We've been on an hour answering questions. Be sure and check out our sales. I'm going to get an email ready to go with them. And, I was going to tell you my topic that I thought of this morning. Y'all all know that I'm The Walking Dead is one of my favorite shows, and we haven't seen the season finale yet, and I'm just dying to see the season finale of The Walking Dead. Well, they still have the character on the show called Negan, and Negan, he had bunches of people all over the place, little teams of people everywhere, and when he would capture somebody from the other side, he would make them kneel. They had to get down on their knees and kneel. They had to get down on their knees and be submissive. This woman is never going to kneel unless it's at the feet of Jesus. I'll say my prayers. I'll get on my knees to say my prayers. But I will never, ever kneel to anyone. Ever. Ever. So, I'm not going to be like Negan. Nobody is going to force it. They'll have to shoot me. They will have to shoot me. I will not get down on my knees except to the good Lord. I won't disrespect my flag. I love my flag. I will not kneel. And poor Drew Brees, he is being raked over the coals for the same thing. So send some love his way. Send some love his way. I will not kneel. And kneeling is what killed Mr. Floyd. Somebody kneeled on his neck. You know, I don't care if he had drugs in his system. He didn't even treat like that. Kneeling is wrong. Yep. So when you take a knee in solidarity for Mr. Floyd, that just seems kind of stupid to me because that's what killed him. It makes no sense. None. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox now. This woman will never kneel. They'd have to shoot me. And you know what Negan did? People would kneel, and if they disrespected him in any way, he would beat them with a baseball bat while they were kneeling. So I ain't putting up with that crap. Nope. This woman ain't gonna kneel. And I'll stand guard at my office if they bust protesters in here to riot and loot our little town. I will stand guard at my office. And I'll drag out the shotguns, and I'll be a pistol-packing mama. And they better not come down my driveway and try to get in my house. Because what's happening in the big cities, they're not telling this. When the businesses are being protected, they're going into apartment buildings, y'all. They're going into apartment buildings. So I'm not going to be intimidated by the Negans of the world. I am not going to do it. Okay, go away. Go away. That's a bee trying to get me, carpenter bee. So I love you all. Let's stand together to fight what's going on. But don't take a knee. Don't take a knee. And these military personnel and these sheriffs that are taking a knee with these folks, that's submission. It's wrong. I'm not going to be Neganized. I'm not going to do it. So let's stand together. Let's get around the table and talk. Let's figure out what's going on. But look at the statistics about who died in 2019. Look at those statistics. Go to the Washington Post and look it up. Look it up if you want to see who died. I love you all. I will see you later. Protesters are not looters. That's true. Protesters, you can protest, but what is happening is the looters and the bad people are mixing in to the good people. They're mixing. And they're getting in there, and then when it hits curfew time, 15 minutes, they start throwing bottles. And they have brick stashed. So they're wrong. They're just wrong. And we need to take our country back, literally, from the hands of the people who are trying to destroy our society. Yep. I love you all. Bye.